What is going on, everyone? My name is Jamon McKinney, but of course you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, into the latest edition of the Juice Alert. If you have not subscribed to the Juice Alert already, be sure to do that right about now. You will not regret it. You can find the Juice Alert on YouTube as well as podcasting platforms. That includes Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that great stuff. You know the deal. Also, if you enjoy this show, be sure to leave it a good rating and review on podcasting networks and platforms. If you're listening on YouTube, be sure to drop a like, comment your feedback, your questions, your takes. Love to hear from you guys and all that great stuff. Also, if you have not already, follow me on social media. I'm putting all the social media links in the description of this episode. If you're watching here on YouTube, you will see the handles to those social media platforms on your screen. Maybe take some time to quickly just pause this episode and screenshot everything, jot these handles down, and follow me for entertainment purposes on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that great stuff. And also be sure to check me out on MLBBro.com. A lot of great things we're discussing on MLBBro.com. It is a website / content creating, site that really just dives into everything baseball related in terms of African Americans in baseball. Love to have you guys checking us out over there as well. Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty side of things and let's kind of rehash, some topics that have came up of recent that I haven't really had a chance to cover. Aaron Rodgers has unfortunately suffered a torn Achilles. And the crazy thing is that Aaron Rodgers did not even complete a single pass in his New York Jets debut before getting injured. And it's such a shame and it's such a sad story. For those of you that don't know, Aaron Rodgers is arguably my favorite athlete of all time. He's at least my favorite football player of all time. And it's really, really a sad story. Aaron Rodgers spent a lot of time in the offseason, really trying to connect with his teammates, trying to change the narrative that I thought was a little bit false in the first place about him being a bad leader. But again, I think Aaron Rodgers really starting to turn some heads, starting to win people over. He really believed in the coaching staff, the talent on the Jets roster. The harsh reality is this. Aaron Rodgers may be retiring sooner rather than later as a NFL starting quarterback. Have we seen the last of Aaron Rodgers? Let's be real, people. Aaron Rodgers, over the past couple of years, throughout his career, has suffered multiple concussions, an ankle injury, and 2 collarbone surgeries, 2 broken collarbones, and he is soon to be 40 years old, people. There's some speculation that Aaron Rodgers could be coming back from his torn Achilles injury a little bit earlier than expected because apparently he reached out to the doctor that did the treatment on Kobe Bryant when Kobe Bryant tore his Achilles, and Aaron believed in that guy. They think that this recovery process is going to be great for Aaron. It's something Aaron is invested in. But Aaron Rodgers is not 27 years old anymore. He's soon to be 40 years old at some point. And usually, ideally, an Achilles tear takes anywhere from 12 to 16 months to recover from. And Aaron Rodgers has recently expressed on social media, on the Pat McAfee show, and look, I felt this way anyway, even when Aaron Rodgers, the news broke that he tore his Achilles. I don't think this is the last we're going to see of Aaron Rodgers in a New York Jets uniform, or at least on a football field. But here's the thing, people. Could the New York Jets quietly say, you know what, we tried our best shot, we're good? And let's keep in mind, people, Aaron Rodgers is, to a degree, the definition of unpredictable because this is the same guy that less than 12 months ago, according to his own words, was 90% retired from football altogether. And then he went on a darkness retreat, did some self-reflection. The Jets seemed like a viable team for him. And he said, boom, I'm ready to start the next chapter of my career. He gets to New York. It looks great in training camp. Hard Knocks is awesome. It looks like Aaron Rodgers could be taking maybe the Peyton Manning route. And all these things are still on the table for Aaron Rodgers. But boom, it's like just out of nowhere, there's a buzzsaw, and Aaron Rodgers, another major injury. Is Aaron Rodgers ever going to be the same? But here's the thing, people. All I'm going to say is retirement is most definitely coming sooner rather than later for Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be playing for another 5 years. I hope he can. I think that if anyone can do it, it's Aaron Rodgers, who to me is the most talented thrower of the football the National Football League has ever seen. But at some point, the injuries, they just could be a little bit too much to overcome. And who's to say the Jets solve their offensive line issues? Because as of right now, it's not solved. We'll see if they can invest in, better parts on the offensive line. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers can adjust his game and come back from another major injury, at 40 years old and, beyond. But this is a devastating blow for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. And this is a sad, sad story at this point, because I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to hit the ground running, and everything is still on the table for Aaron Rodgers. Not trying to rule anything out. All I'm saying is the odds are very much stacked against Aaron Rodgers, because outside of Tom Brady and maybe Drew Brees, who's been a great quarterback at 40 years old and beyond? The list is very, very short, people. And that's all I would say. I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers, now suffering a torn Achilles with the New York Jets, has a lot to overcome. And another major injury, I think Aaron probably would more than likely hang it up. But we'll see. I just went on this whole spiel right there about Aaron Rodgers and his future. And look, I do think that we've probably seen the best of Aaron Rodgers in terms of his physical prime. I think that's pretty obvious. Aaron Rodgers is about to turn 40 years old. He's not the same 27, 28-year-old that's running around outside the pocket, making all these crazy, crazy throws. Aaron Rodgers is still awesome. I think that he's still a top 5 quarterback at his best right now. Like, if you were to say you're going to get the best of Aaron Rodgers right now, I think that version of him is still a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Aaron is unbelievably gifted, unbelievably talented, But the thing is, now due to major injuries, Aaron Rodgers is more than likely going to have to change his playing style drastically and really just truly be a drop back pocket passer. Now, he's a great, great drop back pocket passer, but a lot of the special things that Aaron Rodgers used to bring to the table, the creativity, the rolling outside the pocket, the crazy off-platform throws, he may not be able to provide that anymore coming off a torn Achilles. But I will say this. Aaron Rodgers' back is against the wall once again. Torn Achilles. Is he going to come back? Can he resurrect himself? What's he going to look like if he comes back? Is this going to be a feel-good story? Or is this going to be a story where Aaron Rodgers washes away into the sunset on a very sour note? Let me tell you something right now. My belief is this. We have not seen the last of Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers has one more great final finishing act left in him at least. When you look at the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers, to me, does not want this to be his last memory on the football field. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, he's going to come back. He's going to be ready to go. He's going to take on a new journey and a new challenge in his career, and he will be ready to contribute at some point down the line for the New York Jets once he fully recovers from his Achilles injury. Aaron Rodgers promised the New York Jets he would bring memories, he would bring relevance, and ultimately the big, big goal is winning them another Super Bowl. A Super Bowl that they have not grasped in a long, long time. The moment you tell Aaron Rodgers he can't do something, 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to prove you wrong. And I've got the track record to back it up, because this is a guy in Aaron Rodgers, keep in mind, people, that had to go to JUCO college before going to the University of California. Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP winner, Hall of Fame level quarterback, easily one of the 5 to 10 most gifted quarterbacks we've ever seen, had to go to JUCO. 49ers, this great story for Aaron Rodgers, the potential backyard hometown guy, grew up rooting for Joe Montana. It got flushed away from him because the 49ers chose Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers. Boy, oh boy, do the 49ers wish they could have invested in Aaron Rodgers over Alex Smith looking back. The Green Bay Packers, The franchise that he called home for nearly 2 decades drafted Aaron Rodgers' replacement when he was making deep postseason runs. And Aaron Rodgers goes out there and wins back-to-back MVPs, extends his run in Green Bay. And I think this is another chapter in Aaron Rodgers' career where we're going to look at him and say, he's exceeded expectations. Because when Aaron Rodgers walked into the NFL, he was succeeding Brett Favre in Green Bay. Not only did Aaron Rodgers, become just as good as Brett Favre was, he became better than Brett Favre. Surpassed Brett Favre, in my opinion, a long time ago. So I think this is going to be another great feel-good story for Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers has at least one more great final finishing act left in him. I think the Jets will shore up their offensive line. They've got the star wide receivers. They've got the running backs. They've got the defense. I think Joe Douglas is going to continue to be aggressive. I don't think the Jets will turn their back on Aaron Rodgers and say, we've invested so much. This is a terrible situation. It's not going to work. I think the Jets are all in. I think Aaron Rodgers is all in once again. And I think Aaron Rodgers has one more great final finishing act. This is not the last of great football we will see from Aaron Rodgers, and he'll do great things for the Jets, I still believe. We got to talk about Zach Wilson, because has Zach Wilson learned enough from Aaron Rodgers? Or should say, has Zach Wilson really truly learned anything from Aaron Rodgers that can help him translate success onto the football field? We just saw Zach Wilson not play his best football versus a very great Cowboys defense. And listen, the road is not going to get any easier for Zach Wilson, because the Patriots defense is coming to town. The Broncos defense is on the table. The Eagles defense is on the table. So it's not going to get any easier for Zach Wilson, but this is another opportunity for Zach Wilson to chase towards generational wealth. And what do I mean by that? Because here's the thing, people. Let's say for whatever reason, Zach Wilson comes out and shocks a lot of people and is awesome for the Jets. They're going to at least have to consider their future potentially with Zach Wilson if Aaron Rodgers is a question mark. Because at this point, we know Aaron Rodgers is talented, but he's a big question mark. Coming off an Achilles tear, how's he going to look? He's not getting any younger. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that in the past was 1 minute 90% done with football, and then the next minute was saying, yeah, let's go get a Super Bowl trophy for the Jets. So when it comes to Zach Wilson has an amazing opportunity to prove himself, to prove I learned from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has helped me resurrect my career, kind of like how Jordan Love has looked the part, at least up to this point, with Aaron Rodgers being his mentor in Green Bay. Patrick Mahomes, he benefited a lot from Alex Smith, being his, quote-unquote tutor in Kansas City before Kansas City gave him the keys. When it comes to Zach Wilson, there are no more excuses. You have the weapons, you have the defense, you have the coaching, no more excuses. You've got at some point show that you can be a starting caliber quarterback. At some point, it's put up or shut up time for Zach Wilson. How many great opportunities is this guy going to get? I mean, you learn from Aaron Rodgers. The Jets draft you a star wide receiver. They give you a great defense. Robert Saleh is a great head coach that relates to players, in my opinion. I mean, what's the excuse for Zach Wilson? Zach Wilson, this is a great opportunity for him. And has he really truly learned from Aaron Rodgers? Because I think one thing, the game has slowed down a little bit for Zach Wilson. He seems to be getting a little bit better, but there's a long way for Zach Wilson to go, because he's got to show improvement, because the improvements just have not really been there. The Jets thought he was going to be this guy. There's this debate. Should they have drafted Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Trey Lance? One thing we've learned from the Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers situation is that be ready at all times, because a lot of people thought, oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to be the automatic starter for 3 years and on. Then boom, Aaron Rodgers, Achilles tear, Zach Wilson asked to play. Is Zach Wilson ready? I mean, you tell me. You're watching the games. I mean, when it comes to Zach Wilson has a lot that he needs to prove. He needs to prove that he has truly learned from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been that tutor for him. And listen, you can have all the great support. You can have all the great tutors. At some point, you got to get out there and perform. And it's all about performance at this point for Zach Wilson. The Jets have given him star wide receivers, star running backs, a good coaching staff, a great mentor in Aaron Rodgers that should be still around when He's, battling his rehab injuries with the Achilles. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback. Not many better mentors out there, I would say. So, has Zach Wilson truly learned from Aaron Rodgers? If he has, then Zach Wilson will take this opportunity, play great football, and show that he was worth a first round pick. But up to this point, Zach Wilson has looked like a backup NFL starting quarterback. He's looked like a backup, and maybe that's what he is. And I kind of feel bad for the guy because I never truly believed in Zach Wilson. I never really did. I didn't understand the hype when he was coming out of BYU. This guy was losing to teams of the likes of the Toledo Rockets at one point. And this guy, you're telling me that he's, a guy that's Patrick Mahomes on Diet Coke? I mean, come on now. Like, let's be real, people. This is not what we thought. But I'm willing to give Zach Wilson a chance. We will see if Aaron Rodgers' influence has had a big impact on Zach Wilson going forward. We need to have a discussion about Tyreek Hill. I was someone who advocated for Tyreek Hill being the best wide receiver in the entire National Football League, even back when he was in Kansas City. And I was someone that advocated saying the Chiefs need to keep Tyreek Hill because it's kind of like pitching in baseball when it comes to wide receivers. You can never have enough good pitching in baseball. Just like in football, I think you can never have enough good pass catchers at the wide receiver position. But the Kansas City Chiefs said, okay, we have Patrick Mahomes, an all-time great quarterback, and we're going to take our chances. We're going to say, Tyreek Hill, we've, maximized our opportunities with you. And it paid off for the Chiefs. The Chiefs won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. Have to give the Kansas City Chiefs a lot of credit. But the Kansas City Chiefs winning a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill is not a knock on Tyreek Hill and his legacy. It more so just enhances the Kansas City Chiefs brand and Patrick Mahomes' brand because we know about how great Patrick Mahomes is. We know about the system Andy Reid runs. Multiple quarterbacks have had success with Andy Reid in his system and have won games and made deep postseason runs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is great, but Andy Reid is great as well. And Tyreek Hill in Kansas City had to share targets with the likes of Travis Kelce, who's another all-time great football player. To me, arguably the best tight end I've ever seen play football. That's even over Rob Gronkowski and Tony Gonzalez. I think Travis Kelce is at least in that same boat, if not better. But we shouldn't take away from how great Tyreek Hill is because of what the Chiefs have done without him. It's kind of like Kevin Durant with the Golden State Warriors. Why are we bashing Kevin Durant for what the Golden State Warriors have done without him? Let's embrace the Warriors as a brand and not tear down Kevin Durant's brand just because Golden State, kind of retooled and found ways to win even without a super team, okay? So that's my take on that really quickly. But Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in all of football. You could literally have the perfect game plan for Tyreek Hill, the perfect defensive scheme, and he's still probably going to beat you because he can just run by you. I mean, you can't teach this generational type speed that Tyreek Hill has. There is simply no defense to shut down Tyreek Hill. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, this guy is virtually unstoppable as an NFL wide receiver. He's arguably the fastest player in NFL history. Wrap your heads around that, people. Find me a more quarterback-friendly wide receiver than Tyreek Hill. Because Tyreek Hill is the best deep threat in the NFL. He turns short passes into gigantic gains. People can say, oh, he doesn't win 50-50 balls. He's improved in that category every single season of his career. He's gotten a lot better at that area. You want versatility? Tyreek Hill's got it. You want route running? Tyreek Hill's got it. You want speed? Tyreek Hill's got it. We look at Patrick Mahomes and we can say, oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's this great quarterback. He made Tyreek Hill into a star. Flatly false. Tyreek Hill was putting up great numbers and was a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion, with Alex Smith as his quarterback. And we look at Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. Tyreek Hill has helped Tua Tagovailoa tremendously in Miami. Tua Tagovailoa was not putting up MVP level numbers until Tyreek Hill showed up to town. The amount of defensive attention that Tyreek Hill draws to me is not talked about enough. I think that that's one of the most underrated factors when we're discussing his greatness because he just elevates the other pieces around him. He elevates his quarterback. He elevates the other wide receivers because defenses have to stop Tyreek Hill or else they're going to get burned. So they're naturally going to put at least a little bit of an investment into stopping Tyreek Hill. And boom, these other wide receivers have one-on-one coverage, and it's great. Tyreek Hill is listed at 5'10" tall. So because of that, I can't quite give him a 99 overall on Madden just because I think the physical, tools that you have as far as, your physical attributes, your size, your speed, your strength, all these things have to factor in along with your production. But Tyreek Hill is the closest thing to a 99 overall on Madden as you will get. Tyreek Hill, to me, is by far and away the best wide receiver in all of football. I understand Justin Jefferson has an argument. I understand Devontae Adams has an argument. Even a guy like Cooper Kupp, I think, has an argument. Jamar Chase, he's another great wide receiver as well. But to me, there's no wide receiver that has the unique skill set that Tyreek Hill brings to the table, and no one changes the outcome of games in football at the wide receiver position more than Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in all football. To me, if he wants to continue to play football at a high level, I think there's a very good chance he could end up as a top 5 wide receiver of all time. It all comes down to the longevity. I do think that he's already starting to crack that top 10 wide receiver range, at least as far as talent goes. We'll talk about the production side of things, when we need to, but Tyreek Hill, excellent slam dunk Hall of Fame player and the best wide receiver in all football at this moment right here in 2023. Never count out Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams. To me, Sean McVay is the Patrick Mahomes of NFL head coaches. No matter what the situation is for Sean McVay and the Rams, no matter the roster, no matter the quarterback situation, you will always have a chance to win football games with Sean McVay as your head coach. I say Sean McVay is the Patrick Mahomes of the head coaching tree in the NFL because Patrick Mahomes in his first season, 50 touchdown passes, 5,000 passing yards, and still super young. As a first-year starter, that's what Patrick Mahomes was doing. Sean McVay in his first season in the NFL takes over a very, very bad Rams team, instantly wins 11 games, instantly gets them in the playoffs, and by his second season coaching in the NFL, he gets the Los Angeles Rams to a Super Bowl. That's pretty astonishing. Just like Patrick Mahomes got his team to a Super Bowl in his second full season, being the ultimate CEO of that franchise. And Sean McVay, from a talent perspective, I think he's the best in the NFL. I really, truly do. Knowledge of the game, X's and O's, ability to call plays, make adjustments, knowing situational football, being able to execute in those situations, getting the most out of his players. Sean McVay is the cream of the crop. I think that you can definitely make that argument that he's the most talented head coach in the NFL and arguably the most talented head coach in NFL history, people. Everyone was burying the Rams this year saying, they're not going to compete. This is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. They're going to be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. And Sean McVay just goes into Seattle and just casually kicks everyone's butt. Outcoaches Pete Carroll, beats a very good Seahawks team. They were in that game versus San Francisco recently. When it comes to the Rams, they're run well. They've got smart people. And to me, Sean McVay is one of the greatest hires in NFL head coaching history. One of the best hires of all time. I think that anytime you have Sean McVay as your head coach, you're going to be at least around 500. I know they were below 500 last season due to all those major injuries. I think we're going to see a Mike Tomlin type run from Sean McVay where the Rams, they're never going to be bad. I think that each and every year, as long as Sean McVay puts his mind to coaching in the NFL, the Rams are going to be one of those teams that will be in the playoff conversation. And when they're talented, they very well likely will get to and maybe win a Super Bowl. I think Sean McVay has the whole future ahead of him. If he wants to continue to coach, he can go down as the greatest head coach of all time if he really, truly wants to. I truly, firmly believe that. He's that talented. He's that good. And I believe in Sean McVay. Never count him out. He's the Patrick Mahomes of NFL head coaches. So when you look at young quarterbacks in the NFL, I want to shift to the NFC North. Let's talk about Jordan Love and Justin Fields. The start of the 2023 NFL season began with the Green Bay Packers coming to Chicago and absolutely annihilating the Chicago Bears. And this is a big deal because everyone thought, oh, Aaron Rodgers no longer in the Bears division. This is a perfect opportunity for the Bears with a potential star quarterback in Justin Fields, a new roster that should be improved to go out there and make a statement. And they couldn't make a statement. Green Bay dominated. Green Bay was the much better team. My takeaway from Jordan Love's quote-unquote Packers debut and how his career is shaping out to be versus Justin Fields is one guy in Jordan Love has support and one guy in Justin Fields really kind of doesn't. It's a lot of shaky moving parts in Chicago. Before Green Bay Packer fans get all defensive, Jordan Love right now is actually in the same position Justin Fields was back when Justin Fields was at Ohio State in college. Because Justin Fields in Ohio State, he had an advantage. He had great coaching, a great offensive line, a great defense, and great wide receivers. Jordan Love had to go to Utah State. And let me tell you something right now. Utah State, they're not bringing in a bunch of major 4- and 5-star players. There was a lot for Jordan Love to overcome. But Jordan Love got the ultimate fortune of falling into the draft into the Green Bay Packers' arms. A historically pretty good franchise. Justin Fields, he unfortunately was grabbed up by the Chicago Bears, an historically dysfunctional organization who the last time they had a great quarterback, it was in the Sid Luckman era, people. It seems like the Bears are just saying, Justin Fields, go save us. Go be the guy you were at Ohio State. And they're not tailoring the offense to him. They're not really putting him in the best situation to succeed. I'm not trying to necessarily make excuses for Justin Fields because at some point he's got to perform. He's got to prove he can be a true traditional drop back pocket passer. We know about his rushing ability, but he's been very inconsistent as a pocket passer. So he's got to perform at some point. But when it comes to Jordan Love, the Packers, they've given him protection, a good run game, Aaron Rodgers as a great tutor and a mentor that mentored him for years. And they're just telling Jordan Love to go out there and be you. They're not trying to ask Jordan Love to do too much. They're not saying, Jordan Love, go out there and be the savior. Jordan Love, just go be you. Not saying Jordan Love hasn't put in the work, because he has put in the work. He has grown tremendously as a passer. And he does have talent. But situation is everything in the NFL. And Justin Fields, he was asked to start early. He was asked to be the savior of the Bears franchise. The Bears are not used to having a great quarterback. They haven't seen a great quarterback in ages, people. Meanwhile, the Packers, they're used to this. They're like, okay, if Jordan Love doesn't work out, we'll find another quarterback eventually. Meanwhile, the Bears, they're hoping and praying Justin Fields is the guy. And it's a lot of pressure on Justin Fields. I don't know if he'll be able to overcome it. All I'm saying, though, is when it comes to Jordan Love and Justin Fields, there's going to be a lot of storylines that we're going to look forward to. And one of those storylines could be, Justin Fields was super talented at Ohio State, but boy, oh boy, he just never could figure it out with Chicago. Meanwhile, Jordan Love, you can say, oh yeah, maybe not as talented as Justin Fields, but landed in a great situation. And it's a great feel-good story because this guy, he got to learn from Aaron Rodgers and he took it and ran with it. And you got to give props to a guy that's able to do that if that's the case. But we shall see how things unfold. Will Josh Allen ever win a Super Bowl? In the playoffs, we've seen the good Josh Allen. We've seen the bad Josh Allen, where 1 minute Josh Allen is destroying a Bill Belichick-led defense, arguably outplaying Patrick Mahomes even in a loss on the road in Kansas City. But we've also seen the bad of Josh Allen, where, versus the Houston Texans, he was throwing the ball sideways. It didn't look so good, kind of choppy. Versus the Bengals, you were at home. You were a favorite. It was potentially the year for you guys, and you got kicked in the mouth by the Cincinnati Bengals, led by Joe Burrow. This current iteration of a Super Bowl window for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills it's closing more and more as we go on with time. The Dolphins are a great team now. They're super talented. They're loaded. The Patriots are still a very frisky team. The Jets are much more talented. And if Aaron Rodgers comes back from injury and looks great, boy, oh boy, do they have a chance to be a special football team. The roster around Josh Allen has become much, much more reliant on him. It's become the Josh Allen show. I don't think the Buffalo Bills have done a great job over the past couple of years of taking the pressure off of Josh Allen and asking him to not be the hero. And Josh Allen has regressed. I think he's really regressed at this point. And until proven otherwise, that's all I can really believe. We still see the bad interceptions. We still see the reckless play, and there's no level of consistency that we're seeing. Can Josh Allen win a Super Bowl ring? Probably about 9 months ago, I would have told you, I think Josh Allen's going to win a Super Bowl. But here's the thing, people. I've shifted my thoughts and my viewpoint. Josh Allen is in danger of being the odd man out in the Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and potentially Trevor Lawrence era. I mean, heck, even Lamar Jackson has won an MVP at this point. Josh Allen plays a lot like Cam Newton. And I can even argue he's more reckless than Cam Newton was. And one thing we know about Cam Newton is super duper talented, came very close to winning a Super Bowl, but Cam Newton's NFL career was cut short because he dealt with a lot of injuries, got banged up a lot, was very reckless, never seemed to hone in on his weaknesses. And you see the same thing with Josh Allen. There's the same mistakes, the same reckless style of play, and you just wonder, is Josh Allen ever going to get over the hump? There's two things holding him back. Number one is his own boneless playing style, because Josh Allen just can't ever seem to dial it back. And number two, the Buffalo Bills as a franchise, I think they become way too reliant on Josh Allen and an old school mentality where we're gonna try to play great defense, we're gonna have a great star quarterback, and we think that's gonna be enough. No, it's not enough. You need to take the pressure off of Josh Allen and ideally get him an offensive minded head coach. I know Sean McDermott is awesome. He's done some great things, but I think Sean McDermott has peaked in Buffalo. I really do firmly believe that. And I think that Josh Allen would really benefit from having a great offensive-minded head coach that will allow him to try to just get back to the basics. Because the basics for Josh Allen have gone out the door. His mechanics are erratic. He's not playing great, fundamentally sound football like he did a couple of years ago when we thought he was going to take that MVP leap for years to come. So when it comes to Josh Allen winning a Super Bowl, again, he is wildly, wildly talented. But in order for him to break through and actually win that darn Lombardi trophy, the Buffalo Bills franchise will need to take a shift towards a different philosophy, and Josh Allen will need to hone in on his weaknesses and make some minor adjustments. So if that can happen, then yeah, the Buffalo Bills have a shot. But if not, then well, I think Josh Allen and Buffalo will be the odd team and quote unquote the odd man out as far as Super Bowls are concerned. What does Aaron Rodgers' injury mean for the landscape of the NFL and the New York Jets? First of all, the NFL is super duper bummed because they scheduled all these primetime games for the New York Jets, and you're out here watching Zach Wilson get destroyed by the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's a big blow for the NFL, and I will say this, at least for the time being, teams in the AFC like the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, who happen to play in the Jets division, they've got to be thinking, man, we caught a break here potentially because Aaron Rodgers is a guy that shifts power in a way where if you have Aaron Rodgers on your squad, you got a shot to win a Super Bowl. We've seen Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl in the past when he had an elite defense, and the Packers caught fire and he was able to win a Super Bowl. And ever since then, he hasn't gotten back in a very long time, but he's been in the conversation for many, many years. When it comes to Aaron Rodgers' Achilles tear in the landscape of the NFL, the Jets right now could be in the business for a potential star quarterback for the future. Because even if Aaron Rodgers comes back and gives them 1, maybe 2 or 3 years of football, the Jets' future at quarterback is still unknown. Zach Wilson does not look like the guy right now. Could Zach Wilson be the guy? Maybe, but we'll have to really see because he just hasn't shown us very much. And you look at the Green Bay Packers, if Jordan Love is a good quarterback, the Packers are going to be looked at as a team that may have dodged a bullet with Aaron Rodgers, because everyone thought, Aaron Rodgers, he's this great quarterback. How could the Packers move on from him? I was one of those people. But did Green Bay dodge a bullet? I don't know. I mean, maybe Aaron Rodgers never gets injured if he's a Green Bay Packer, but Green Bay, if Jordan Love is a good quarterback and makes a Super Bowl run, they're not going to get much pushback anymore. And let me just say this. Even if Aaron Rodgers wants to come back to the New York Jets and he does not retire, the Jets still could move on from Aaron Rodgers because the Jets could look at this situation and say, it's a great feel-good story, but we're unsure about Aaron Rodgers' injury. And we invested so much in this. We thought it'd be great. And there's already potentially some red flags. And we need to wave the flag and we're going to move on. I don't think that's going to happen. But what if Zach Wilson is awesome? What if the Jets draft a quarterback and he's awesome? That puts Aaron Rodgers on the market once again. And is a team going to go after Aaron Rodgers again? A team like the Rams maybe, the 49ers, the Patriots. 3 teams that have pretty good rosters that potentially, could use a quarterback that's a veteran that's ready to win right now. The Rams with Matthew Stafford, his body could be breaking down. The 49ers, there's still some questions. Is Brock Purdy legit? Do we know if you could upgrade over Brock Purdy? We don't know. The Patriots with Mac Jones, I like Mac Jones a little bit more than some people, but does Bill Belichick like Mac Jones? I'm not so sure. So this Aaron Rodgers injury has put a huge wrench in the landscape of the NFL, and it's going to be very interesting to see how these storylines play out and if Aaron Rodgers can make a triumphant return when it's all said and done. Zach Wilson has been gifted a second chance at life in the National Football League. Many, many people did not expect Aaron Rodgers to go down with an injury. And Zach Wilson's been asked to play, and this is a big opportunity for Zach Wilson. Even if Zach Wilson is not the long-term answer for the Jets, because deep down, I don't think Robert Saleh believes in the guy, to the fullest. I don't think the Jets are fully invested in Zach Wilson. This could be an opportunity for Zach Wilson to try out for another NFL team because, there are other teams out there that could be looking for a potential star quarterback down the road. Someone could say, oh, this guy is the quarterback for this team. This guy is the quarterback for that team. Every single offseason, there's at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 teams that are always, having questions at quarterback. Is this guy the future? Do we want to pay this guy? This guy's had an injury. This guy isn't happy with the team. There's always seemingly a spot that comes open. And Zach Wilson, because of Aaron Rodgers' injury, he has been given a golden opportunity to prove all the doubters wrong. All the people that have doubted Zach Wilson, that have said, oh, he can't play. The Jets should have never drafted this guy. Even if he's not the Jets quarterback for the future, this is an opportunity for Zach Wilson to maybe have another team fall in love with him. Because another team could look at Zach Wilson and say, man, we believe in this kid. Even if the Jets don't believe in him, we love to have him in our building. So I'm very interested to see how Zach Wilson does going forward. Only time will tell. However, if Zach Wilson can catch fire and improve as an NFL starting quarterback, because at this point, he's a backup quarterback, and I don't know if he'll ever get over that hump, but we shall see. Robert Saleh, to me, is already one of the best head coaches in the National Football League. I know people are going to look at his record and say, how can you say this? I understand the production proof isn't necessarily there, at least yet, I would say. But keep in mind, people, Robert Saleh won 7 games a year ago with arguably the worst quarterback room in the entire NFL. Folks, it's hard to win without great quarterback play. Look at Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest head coach of all time. He's barely above 500 without Tom Brady as his quarterback. Bill Belichick, the greatest head coach arguably ever, a 500 to barely above 500 head coach without a star quarterback. And keep in mind, Robert Saleh, what he sold to the Jets was, I'm a defensive specialist. You look at guys like Brandon Staley and Matt Eberflus in Chicago and Brandon Staley with the Chargers. These are guys that sold defense to their franchise, and it's a very mixed bag. It seems like they're average at their specialty. If you tell me you specialize in making great vanilla ice cream, I expect the vanilla ice cream to be excellent. The Jets defense has looked the part every single year and have improved every single year that Robert Saleh has been the guy manning the ship with the New York Jets. And when you look at Aaron Rodgers' debut, it was a very sad story that Aaron Rodgers got hurt. But I think that the fact that the Jets were able to somehow win that game and pull off a victory versus a very good Buffalo Bills team, it really speaks to the motivator, the leader, and the head coach that Robert Saleh is. The guy that has a no-quit mentality. He's going to relate to his players. He gets the most out of his players. And boy, oh boy, if Robert Saleh gets a star quarterback to be able to complement his defensive minded philosophy with his team, where the star quarterback's going to man the offense and Robert Saleh is going to get that defense always ready to go, I think Robert Saleh can do some special things as a head coach in the National Football League. I think that he's a great guy, really seems like a guy that I would love to play for if I was in the National Football League. I'm all in on Robert Saleh. I don't think he's part of the problem in New York. I think the Jets would be foolish to move on from Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh, to me, is the real deal. All Robert Saleh needs is a star quarterback. I'm going to die on that hill until the hill is no more, and we'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But I think I'm going to be right about this. Robert Saleh, to me, is the real deal. Well, everyone, that's pretty much all I have today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jamon McKinney. Thank you so much, and until next time.